Welcome to the only honest NFL power rankings show on YouTube. I'm your master and commander, Brandon Perna, and I am happy to announce that the curse wheel is back. It finally took down the Chiefs, and I learned a valuable lesson. Despite being birthed in the fiery depths of hell, forged in Satan's rectal halls, the curse wheel, like anyone else, just wants to be loved.
Yes, it's the Chiefs.
That's right, I gave the Chiefs a literal kiss of death last week. Today I'm gonna rank the top NFL teams and then spin this wheel, this lovely, beautiful, and intelligent wheel at the end of the show to see which team it wants to lose this week. But let's start in hell, where the Bengals reside. I am thoroughly enjoying this football team. One of the most insane statistical anomalies we've ever seen in terms of a quarterback and offense losing despite putting up godlike numbers every week. I can't wait to see the Bengals and Cowboys both bid for Bill Belichick this season. The Bengals offer $25 an hour. The Cowboys offer, you have the honor of cleaning Jerry Jones's glasses and not standing underneath the falling ceiling. In purgatory, the Atlanta Falcons, who are still above 500 and in first place of the NFC South, even after getting a dose of weapons-grade Bo Nix on Sunday. I'm starting to wonder if we'll see Michael Penix a little earlier than we all thought, because Kirko, forgive me, looks like he's got the mobility of a covered wagon right now. I know, the Broncos defense is good, but you don't give a quarterback $100 million to score just 6 points. In heaven, Aaron Rodgers watching Woody Johnson fire GM Joe Douglas. Why would this put Aaron Rodgers in heaven? Because it's his fault? No. Aaron simply wants to watch the world burn. We may not always agree with the Packers' rigid front office, their old school way of doing things, but not caving to their last 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks because it went against their philosophy is some GOAT-level shit.
Gunakuns, we're just automatically assuming he's a smart person?
The Jets have no philosophy. They have no identity. They have no consistency. They have nothing. Not even a fucking jet. And if the first move the next GM makes isn't cutting Aaron Rodgers and exposing Woody Johnson, then that guy's just gonna be another failed pawn.
Oh yeah, there have never been shitty fucking general managers.
I wonder if having Aaron Rodgers on the show every week has affected his opinion on the NFL. The Cardinals were on a bye last week, so they will not be in the rankings today. Number 12, the Packers. The Packers, admittedly, might be one of the most slept-on teams with a winning record at this point in the season. I realize I'm doing exactly that by putting them at 12, but I'm a little pissed off about the way they beat the Bears, about the way they had to do it. Seems mean. Now, I guess that's what happens when you're 7-3 but are still in third place in your own division. Like the Black Magic Chiefs, you can be concerned that they were 1 kick away from losing to the Bears, but you have to give them credit for pulling it out. Jordan Love will need to clean up the picks. One of the most encouraging things from his late season run a year ago was his ball security. But now he leads the league with 11 interceptions despite missing 2 games to injury. Number 11, the Rams. The Rams were very cold coming out the gate, but since getting Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back from injury, they're 3-1, and their passing game has come back to life. We all wondered how the defense would fare without Aaron Donald, and you can't replace a guy like that, but perhaps Sean McVay channeled Jonah Hill and Moneyball and replaced him within the aggregate. Kobe Turner, Byron Young, Braden Fisk, and Jared Verse all have combined for 20.5 sacks this year, so that's a hell of a young defensive nucleus. I mentioned Cameron Kinchins in Winners and Losers. Well, he was also the highest graded rookie in the NFL during Week 11. Shit, now I'm dreaming about how nasty that Rams defense would be with Aaron Donald. Coming in at 10, because if I get 10,000 signups, I will earn my first $1 million courtesy of Underdog, today's sponsor. We are just 138 signups away from hitting 3,500. I love Underdog for daily/weekly fantasy tournaments. I love that they support me beyond a normal sponsor-creator relationship. They donated $10,000 to my favorite charity last month, and I won $400 because of my Broncos pick'ems last week. If you like fantasy football or pick'em games where you guess higher or lower on player stat totals, download Underdog with my link below or use my code THATSGOOD when you sign up. Look, you guys fucking rock, and you have been so supportive of this channel, whether that's watching the videos, the live streams, buying my coffee, whatever. I appreciate all of you, and I can say, one $10 deposit at Underdog with my code makes the absolute biggest impact for this show and its future, and how we get to do business here moving forward. Also, number 10, the commies. The commies will go this season as their rookie quarterback goes. Sorry, my brain stopped. I usually cut that shit out, but I'm leaving it so you know that I'm stupid still. But I do think we found out last week that the commies are definitely not the big dogs in the NFC East. Jaden Daniels has only thrown 1 touchdown in the last 2 weeks, and he hasn't rushed for a touchdown since week 4. In fact, he's only had 23 yards on the ground in the last couple games. I suspect that's a product of the rib injury, but they're just a different offense without the use of his legs. Washington has a very forgiving schedule coming up with the Cowboys and the Titans before a bye week that will hopefully give Daniels some real time to rest and heal and get back on the right track. Even with the dip in production, the Commanders are producing the 6th most offensive yards per game and still have the 4th most points per game at 28. Also at 10, the Vikings. You needed too much help from the referees to defeat the Titans. Your defense gave up the longest touchdown of the season in that game and narrowly defeating the Jags 2 weeks ago versus what the Lions did to that team a week later. I need more to buy back in, Minnesota. Number 9, the Texans. It's hard to understate just how good Joe Mixon has been since getting back from injury. Holy shit, could the Bengals use a guy like that, huh?
I'm not afraid anymore.
And Mixon has gone over 100 yards rushing in 5 of his last 6 games, with the exception coming against the Lions defense. He's already at 11 touchdowns on the year despite missing 3 games, and he's given CJ Stroud that check down option we all thought he might have. The Texans have been a little underwhelming on the whole, and Stroud's numbers have taken a dip, but at the end of the day, they're still going to run away with the AFC South. They've got 2 more games against the Titans, and they've already swept the Colts. Number 8, the Broncos. Don't you dare go after them, okay? I love you. Just leave the Broncos alone, okay? Okay. Jesus effing Christ. We might just do it, guys. This is the first time I've really felt like we're going to break the playoff drought. The Falcons game felt like I was watching a different team. I didn't know it was that easy to move the ball. I haven't seen an offense that smooth and wide open for quite literally a decade. The defense is also now 3rd in scoring, giving up fewer than 17 points per game. And they held the Chiefs to 16. Nick Bonito has been given a lot of credit recently. But a guy who's about to get a metric shit ton of money this offseason or next offseason is Zach Allen, who's got 5 sacks. But the most impressive part of his game is that he's 2nd in pass rush win rate among defensive tackles. Always good to be sandwiched between Chris Jones and Calais Campbell, unless we're speaking literally. That might be painful, and possibly one of the worst ways to die. Bo Nix also won AFC Player of the Week. The last quarterback to get that honor for the Broncos was Trevor Siemian in 2016. Number 7, the Ravens. You're a little too predictable, Baltimore. I question the Ravens' toughness. They don't make much sense to me, all right? They win a game where they let Jamar Chase play like prime Randy Moss, and then they lose a game to Russ and the Steelers where their defense didn't allow a single touchdown. They were probably expecting more out of receiver Deontay Johnson, but all he's done since getting moved from Carolina is catch 1 pass for 6 yards. If you're losing a trade with Carolina, I cannot take you seriously. That's like letting a baby steal candy from you. That's like shooting fish in a barrel, but you gave the fish all of the guns. The Ravens have all of the makings of a team that's going to lose in inexplicable fashion in the divisional round to an up-and-coming team in the AFC because they're too dumb to realize that they are undefeated when King Henry gets at least 20 touches. In losses to the Browns and Steelers, Henry got 11 and 13. Greg Roman's going to beat your ass in the playoffs, isn't he, Baltimore? isn't he? Speaking of Greg, number 6, the Chargers. They did it. They found a way to get rid of their Charger DNA and replace it via CRISPR with the DNA of a man who knows the secret of human biology.
The human body, what a tremendous organism. I mean, it actually craves contact.
That's exactly right, Coach. The human body craves contact, and the Chargers are playing like it. They've rushed for at least 120 yards in 3 of their last 4 games, and J.K. Dobbins appears to be hitting his stride. I'm most impressed by what I've seen out of Lad McConkey, who was huge on the game-winning drive for LA. They needed him to contribute right away, and now he's their leading receiver by about 250 yards, so that was probably a good pick. Tough news, though. Their next 3 games are against all above 500 units, and 2 of them are against the Ravens and the Chiefs. That's right, LA. Let's see how you like that gauntlet. We had to go through it, so do you, and if you can block a Chiefs field goal in the process there, I'll put you at number 1. Number 5, the Chiefs. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Is it a good thing for the Chiefs that they can no longer worry about going undefeated? No. I hold the controversial opinion that it is better to win your games than lose them, especially now that the Bills are squarely in their rearview mirror for the 1 seed in the AFC. Naturally, they will have a chance to right the ship with back-to-back games against the Panthers and Raiders. Sweet. I think it's worth noting that Travis Kelce is on pace for his worst season since 2013, his rookie year, but Noah Gray has quietly picked up the slack with 250 yards and a couple of touchdowns. They are slowly grooming him to be the Kelce replacement, and soon enough, he will be going for 1,000 yards and probably dating Sabrina Carpenter. All I'm gonna say is, congrats, Noah, congrats. She's a keeper. Number 4, the Eagles. I'm all in, Philly. You've earned back my trust. One of the big reasons this offense has remained potent without Jason Kelce, who is now surprisingly a hipster bartender, is the play of their 2 tackles, Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, who both surrendered exactly 0 pressures against the Commanders. Vic Fangio also appears to be a perfect fit at DC. Meatball. Because right now, they're allowing 18 points per game and allowing the fewest total first downs, as well as the fewest net yards per attempt of any defense in the NFL. And dear God, we get Cooper Kupp versus Cooper DeJean this week. The Cooper Bowl. Cooper on Cooper crime at the same time. Taking Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean with their first 2 draft picks seems pretty disgusting right now for all other defenses. Also, Saquon Barkley leads the league in scrimmage yards per game, netting nearly 20 more than King Henry. Number 3, the Steelers. Oh God, if you have followed this channel for a while, then you know I have a very complicated relationship with quarterback Russell Wilson. I have noted he is the most confusing quarterback I have ever watched play. He's never as good or as bad as he seems. He's a statistical anomaly every single week. He's both elusive and incredibly easy to sack. He's both absolutely clutch and a liability late in games. And I saw a stat about him and Justin Fields that made me chuckle. Both Fields and Wilson have led 11 drives inside the opponent's 10-yard line. Wilson, 4 touchdowns, 5 field goals. Fields, 8 touchdowns, 1 field goal. That's the most Russ fucking stat I have ever seen. Last season, throwing the ball in the red zone, Russ was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. On a game-to-game basis, he's great at throwing in the red area. Although his pick against the Ravens in the 4th quarter in the end zone was a little too similar than the pick he threw against the Texans last year for my liking. So here's the confusion. He's a great red zone thrower of the ball. However, the Broncos' red zone offense last year sucked. Explain it to me. Explain it to me. You can't, Steelers. You just gotta buckle up for the ride. Number 2, the Lions. Nobody is beating Goff. This is the most dominant and most fun team in the NFL to watch. They are currently the betting favorites to win the Super Bowl for the first time ever. It sucks that they lost one of my favorites, Alex Anelzone, for a while with a forearm fracture. It's really unfortunate. Alex's arm got caught in some friendly fire with Brian Branch. A branch broke a limb? Alex, though, should return for the playoffs, but honestly, if you spend too much time around the anal zone, you might accidentally beat Goff. This will somehow only make them stronger, wiser, and more unbeat-Goffable. So why are they at number 2, you ask? Because you didn't beat those devil-worshipping Chiefs in Week 11. Number 1, the Bills. The Bills slayed the mighty undefeated Dragon. But at the end of the day, no one is going to remember that game if they can't do it again in the playoffs. That's just how it works. I think as the season wears on and we do get closer to the postseason, the Bills are going to keep relying on Josh Allen's legs like they did in the final minutes against Kansas City. No holding back. They've got a chance to win it all this year, and they need to let him run. They're playing and calling games like they know it's now or never, and I like it. Right now, they're the most aggressive team on 4th downs. It also helps when you're really good on 1st and 2nd down, too. Terrell Bernard won AFC Defensive Player of the Week, so what happens to that defense when Matt Milano returns? All right, let's spin the curse wheel. Our lovely curse wheel, who we have tons of respect for, right? Yeah. Whoo! We love you, curse wheel. Don't forget, if you like all the cursed logos you see here, we have them available at benchwarmershop.com. And come back on Black Friday. We're going to have some massive sales at Benchwarmer Shop. Okay. Still going pretty strong. No. Oh my God, what's happening? What are you doing? What a big backspin. Oh no. Oh, wild. Who's at 6? Who's at 6? I gotta check. Okay, that's a risky pick. It's the Chargers. It's the Chargers about to go through that gauntlet. Oh God, maybe he's back. Maybe the wheel's back. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Your subscription really means the world to me. Don't forget to sign up over at Underdog with my code That's Good. And stay tuned for a Bo Nix episode coming out this week.